Hi, this is Jo with Jo Wise Leadership, and let's have a talk about boundaries and why you, as a leader, need to be a boundary ninja. My job is to have conversations with leaders, and when those conversations turn to boundaries, I find it really fascinating that quite often a lot of leaders believe that they don't have a concern with boundaries. They're all good, nothing to look at here, please move along. Yet, when we explore a little deeper into the frustrations that they're experiencing, into why they're not as productive as they'd like to be, about their stresses at work, then we quite often discover another story. When you have clarity on your boundaries, there's so many benefits. You're going to be able to strengthen your responses in challenging situations. You're going to be able to lift your energy levels, and who doesn't want more energy? But also to rid you of many of the frustrations that you're experiencing at work. How's that resonate with you? Look, I like to think of boundaries as like your property line. It reminds you, and also it tells others where your boundary lines are, where and when they may be crossed, or when somebody doesn't have access at all. Yeah. But have you ever noticed, though, with some properties, they have really clear property lines? There's big fences and gates, and maybe even some of those border gardens. But then other properties, their boundaries maybe aren't so clear. I remember years ago going to Canada to visit my brother, and their entire neighbourhood had zero fences, which I found really fascinating. Coming from Melbourne, we've got fences everywhere, yeah? But with their property, you didn't know where the side boundaries were or the front or the back, yeah? Now, people that lived there for a long time, well, they knew where the boundaries were. But for me, that was new, I was, unfamiliar with this area. I got a bit confused and also found it a little bit disconcerting when I was outside playing with the kids. I'm like, where's the line? Where's the line? Look, do you ever find, like, if you think about what I've just said about boundaries, that maybe it's a little bit like that with our own boundaries? Some boundaries, of course, are going to be really clear and you can communicate them well, and it's easy for you to remind people when they've crossed a line or even when they're infringing on a boundary. It's okay for you to remind them of that easily, right? All good. But then other times, as leaders in the real world, some boundaries are not only more challenging to recognize, but also it can be pretty uncomfortable to communicate some boundaries. And what about when people keep crossing boundaries? That can be pretty exhausting too, can't it? So where do you start with your boundaries and getting these back on track? Well, I've got 3 places for you to start. Number 1, decide what you're willing to tolerate and what you're not. Now, this is really about what is most important to you. Yeah. Number 2, realize that you have a right to set boundaries, and that actually really helps other people as well as you when you're clear on your boundaries. They know where they stand. They know if they can call you at 10 o'clock at night or not. Yeah, you're making that clear. They quite often appreciate that as much as you do. And the third thing is put your boundaries into action on a consistent basis, over and over, consistently. Yeah. And one of the ways you can do that and start practicing incorporating your boundaries is maybe pick a new boundary a week. Yeah. Implement it and see how you go. And when you stumble, because we all stumble a little with boundaries, particularly at the start, don't beat yourself up. Just start again and keep moving. I find communicating boundaries a little bit like really effective marketing. You don't see those big marketing companies mentioning a product just once, do you? No, they repeat it, they repeat it, they repeat it, and then they repeat it again just in case you missed it the last 1,000 times, don't they? It's okay for you to remind people about your boundaries. In fact, you must remind people about your boundaries because your boundaries are your responsibility. It's your responsibility to set your boundaries, to communicate them, and also to maintain those boundaries. Your boundaries are your responsibility. Did I mention that already? It's not the responsibility of your team, your manager, your colleagues, or your friends to remember what's important to you. It's your responsibility to have the conversations that you need to have to remind others what's important to you, even when it's uncomfortable. So I have 3 coaching questions for you today, which will allow you to move forward on your boundaries more easily and effortlessly than ever before. Number 1, where do you see your biggest opportunity for stronger boundaries? as a leader are? Where is that for you? Number 2, what is the cost for you if you don't put down your stronger boundaries as a leader? And number 3 is, what are the positive impacts and what are the opportunities when you do? Enjoy implementing your boundaries. My name is Jo from Jo Wise Leadership, and I'll see you soon. Bye.